Hi everyone, and welcome to the Skoolof5d. This is the Great Awakening 2018, and this is a how-to series. I'm doing the first video that I did was how to meditate. This is how to start a revolution. Now, first thing you want to know is what you're revolting against, and that is pretty darn easy. So let's say you're either 2, 12, or 16. Well, you're revolting against anything that represents control. If you're any other age and you're very intelligent, that's also the truth. If you're a woman, you might be revolting against the control of patriarchy. What's patriarchy? That's a little thing that involves taking property and leadership roles away from women, and it's been going on for a few thousand years, maybe more, and it's a really good thing to revolt against. You could also be revolting against ageism, ableism. You could be revolting, you could be anybody, and you can see that there are areas where society, government, or the nuclear family construct, or religion, or who knows what. A lot of it's revolting. Just to make a little revolutionary pun. And that's great. So now you want to start a revolution, so you know what you want to revolt against. And so what you have to do now is you have to have a meeting, and people would say that a lot of different things are revolution, and they might say that these videos are, or memes are, art is, or a whole bunch of other things are, and I think that those are part of a revolution, but I think a real revolution is something that people do, and it is, when it's a real revolution, it's something that then has a lasting effect on society, an undeniable and a lasting effect, and this light is really bothering me. Maybe that's better. So then so you want to start a revolution. Okay, so you need to have a meeting, and you have something that you're going to do, and it is going to have a lasting effect. And so what are examples of a revolution? Say the civil rights movement, where we had a lot of racist laws that got changed forever. Racism is still around though, but there was still change. The meeting is something that I'm very interested in, and something that I want to encourage you to do, the in-person meeting, to join in a circle, to brainstorm, to discuss everything, to do it perhaps using some of examples that we have. You could Google nonviolent communication. You're going to find that there's a man who did a lot of work around that. And then you could also look into asking yourself a lot of really important questions about having a meeting. Is it a healing meeting? Is it a healing circle? Is it a organizational meeting? Is it an information meeting? Is it an action meeting? Are you going to have an agenda? Is it going to have a time limit? There's a whole bunch of different things about that, and it's really good to have someone who either has experience or who's open to learning what is the best way to conduct a meeting. And then, of course, you want to just have your goal, and you want to achieve it, and you want to set out your timelines or whatever it is. And if you watch my last video on how to meditate, I said that one of my teachings is 50-50. So when you're doing this, you're going to consider 50% of your revolution is going to happen non-physically. Now, the revolution that we are engaged in right now, some people might say it's a revolution of consciousness, it's a revolution of awareness, it's an information revolution, and it has been, and it is. I would also say, though, that now it is a revolution of unity, and it is where we take all of our little teeny revolutions that we talked about, and we all come together, and we see that it's time to build. It is time to come together and build the new earth. It is time to dissolve actually the labels and the barriers that the labels cause. And we can remind ourselves that labels are for leftovers. And we can begin to use a phrase that I really enjoy, one human family. And I think that our one human family on our one earth, we are all dreaming the same dream of peace. And so to have this within yourself and within your consciousness, and then to express this peace in a variety of ways individually, is what we've been doing. And now we need to come together, and we need to act, and that's where this word revolution comes in. So the evolution is happening, and nothing can stop it, and that's absolutely wonderful. And then we have the revolution, which is that's the thing that's the wheel that we turn by coming together, meeting, and having an action goal, and then meeting that goal, and perhaps enacting lasting change, like the organic food movement. That was a revolution. Everybody who met and worked together to grow that food and to get it into health food stores, they shifted and changed our society forever. So, a revolution isn't always the way that you might have it in your head. And so I do encourage you all to tune into your evolution and start rolling on the revolution. So also in my last video, I pulled this baby out, and I kind of sort of showed you this, and yeah, it's a crystal. It's a clear quartz crystal that is been cut like a diamond, and I guess that's what I want to do, is talk about crystals and quartz crystals and what's going on with that. And yet I don't. Do you see that pink and gold light kind of coming off the top a little bit? Let me try and catch that. I also said in another video that I'd talk about the Pleadians. And so the Pleadians, okay, the Pleadians and the Pleadian star system. Well, in other videos I talked about the stars. What the heck are they for, right? I believe that they're portals, interdimensional portals, and that the seven sisters, as the Pleiades are known, is a system of portals through which many of us come through to embody here. Not all of us are disincarnate spirits who don't have a complete soul, who were drawn in to this material plane by a bunch of idiots in the basement of a church. Some of us intentionally came here, and we did come through the Pleadian star system. So now I'm going to give you some information. Again, some of this information comes from the Sasquatch Message to Humanity. I suggest you read that. In that book, it says that all of the crystals found on Earth were seeded here purposely, and that it is said that they hold information and emit information, that they are somewhere between liquid and solid. There's a heck of a lot of phantasmagorical things that are said about this, but I'm really not interested in that. I'm not that interested in what people call these things or what they say about them. I'm only interested in the effect. So I do often go to the crystal shop. I do have and have had a lot of crystals of different kinds. But the only thing that matters to me is the effect. Now, I'm happy as heck. I don't know if you noticed that. And in my video, How to Meditate, I am laughing kind of my guts out. And part of the reason is because of this. So for whatever reasons, I could care less what they are. And as for why, and I really don't care. This is causing happiness. Okay, so this is like honest. It has been causing me to laugh. But if you heard me talk in my other video about crystals, it doesn't make me laugh because I got it and brought it home and put it in on a really nice shelf and said, "Isn't it pretty?" and walked away and whatever. No. I got this, and it didn't even go into a bag. It went straight into my palm. And I held it very, very tightly. And I held it tightly until when I pulled it off, the head here was all heated up. And I allowed the electromagnetic field and all of the things that people say about crystals to go into what we call the eye of the palm. And you have seen this in traditional paintings from India. You'll see this awesome woman. She might even look like me, like Lakshmi or something like that, and she'll have an eye on her palm. And so this eye allows me to have a energetic relationship with this crystal. And what this crystal happens to have to offer is joy. So I don't really think that anybody can take the definition of whatever it is, a tourmaline or an amorite crystal or whatever you call it, and say this crystal has these qualities. That's like saying all human beings have this certain quality. Well, yeah, you can say that. But each human being has their own specific quality or gift that they have to offer. And I believe that's true about these crystals. So, and I think that when you get a crystal, that you need to build a relationship with it that allows the unique message or the unique quality that that crystal has to offer it to you without any preconceived ideas in your mind about what somebody told you that crystal is supposed to do. Okay? And I want to talk about the Pleadians a little bit more. The Pleadians, I think that people know a lot about them. They know that a lot of ancient cultures talk about them, mention having a relationship with them. People say that the Pleadians are walking around in human form on the planet right now. People say the Pleadians are helping us. People say they're one of the benevolent space beings that want peace on Earth. I say all that. I would like you to watch out for the Pleadians. And this is how I want you to do that. The next time that you're having a crappy day, or it's kind of cloudy out, or sometimes you're just like, you know what? I was happy yesterday. Today I feel slightly like crap. There's no real reason for it. I want you to look up into the sky. I want you to look towards the sun. But not if it's, if it's a clear day and you haven't practiced looking directly at the sun, then don't do that. But you should practice that. Maybe I'll do some video on that. And I want you to look at the clouds around the sun, and then I want you to call out to the Pleadians. You don't have to, because you might think that's mental, which is cool. That's fine. People call me crazy all the time, by the way. And then I want you, even though you're not going to do this, so I'm going to tell you what I do. I sing to them. and then the light in the clouds becomes pink, turquoise, and gold. No, not violet and orange and yellow. Just that particular combination of colors, which I have been singing to them and then seeing that for years, also singing to Ishmael, who is the Lady of Rainbows, who created Palenque down in Maya world. But it wasn't until recently, in the past several months, that I read a channeled message from the Pleadians with a picture of those colors at the top of the message that said, when you see these colors, this is your opportunity to talk to the Pleadians. And I did point this out to a friend. Her name is Erica Snowlake, and she is a freaking amazing woman. And you can find her on Facebook. And one day we were sitting at the beach, and the Pleiadian energy showed up, and there it was, pink, turquoise, and gold. All right, it's very specific. And I said, I knew that Erica would be able to see it, so I said, Erica, look at that. And she was like, oh, wow. And I said, Erica, do you know that not everyone can see that? And she said, oh, everybody can see that. And I said, no, Erica, this is actually Pleiadian energy, and this energy is part of the lifting of the veil, and so are the auroras that have moved from the polar regions down, and all of the amazing things that we're seeing in the sky. These are energies that have always been there, and these are things that we used to see in ancient times, before our genetics and our DNA and our abilities to see were suppressed. But I know that hers aren't, and I know she has a strong connection to the Pleadians, and I assume that she came through there, so I knew she would know. And then she said, oh, no, everyone can see that. And we were at the beach, and it was around sort of a special event time at the beach, and so she said across to someone, so-and-so, she said, can you see those lights? And he said, no. And she said, no, really, can you look at, no, he said. And the next person said no. And so that's what I know about the Pleiadians. And I know that, as I spoke to you before, if you want to have something or know something, please ask. And ask your higher self, ask your higher selves, ask your future selves, ask the Pleiadians, ask the Arcturians, ask the water in your glass. You can I'd like to remind you that everything is alive, and everything is sentient, really. There's nothing that you shouldn't be able to talk to vibrationally, get an answer. So, I suppose these are part of the reasons that they call me crazy, and I think that is because these great teachings that I give in such simplistic and glib terms, the reason that I do that is because all of this is experience through practice. It really isn't something I'm trying to convince you of. I really don't want you to believe that you can talk to a glass of water. I want to just open your mind. That's all. I just want to open your mind. So that is it. Now you know how to start a revolution. You know what this is. I've spoken about the Pleiadians, and there will be another how-to video coming up soon from the Skoolof5d. Namaste. Namaste.